Ted watched Shanice walk away. He was looking at that ass. I mean, I don't blame him, but he was. So, Ted is being portrayed as very much into Shanice. And we are seeing the same from Shanice. Hello, fellow Beyond the Gates viewers. We are here to talk about today's Wednesday episode. Another fine episode this week. It's been a fine week, Nothing too bad, I would say, but, nothing great either. But today we will start with the Shanice and Ted situation. They were really laying it on thick today. First, with Shanice and Ted literally running into each other at the hospital, and Shanice dropped all her papers. He went to go help pick them up with her, and they had this look. They shared this look that is to, I guess, test their chemistry for us viewers. And I am still growing to the possibility of these two. The next thing really, hit it over the head, did a thing that the show did at the beginning of the show with Ashley and Andre. They had Shanice and Ted trapped in the elevator that stopped working, and they got to spend some time together. Shanice was thinking Ted jinxed them to be stuck in the elevator together. What I liked from these scenes, and what I'm hoping comes from this, if we are going the Ted and Shanice direction, is Ted wanted to know more about Shanice. So we got to learn that she's never been married. We got to learn that she wants to be married, though. We got to learn that she has no fears except for birds, bringing up the Alfred Hitchcock movie Birds, which my mom loves. So shout out to my mom. So I guess that was one of the many reasons she's afraid of birds. Ted was enjoying them having an honest conversation, and by the end of it, he almost said that he hopes they should get stuck again sometime so that they could have another honest conversation. It seems as though Ted has been missing this kind of close relationship since his marriage to Nicole went to crap. And I also noticed that when the elevator finally opened back up, Ted watched Shanice walk away. He was looking at that ass. I mean, I don't blame him, but he was. So, Ted is being portrayed as very much into Shanice. And we are seeing the same from Shanice. But if the show is going to go this direction, I'm going to need it to be because the show's going to make Shanice a bigger part of the show. I think right now we all like Shanice, or at least most of us like Shanice, just being this side character that's entertaining. But an entertaining character is what we want to see from this show. Less Ashley's, who bore us to death, and more Shanice's is what makes quality television. So if their relationship is going to give us more Shanice, it's going to be a win. However, if it's just going to be so that Shanice can try to rehabilitate another character that needs rehabilitation from crap writing, like they already tried to do with her and Derek, if it's just to rehabilitate the character of Ted and not a good story for Shanice, I'm going to be annoyed by that. So that's my hopes if this is the direction the show is going for this pairing. Let's quickly talk about Izaiah and Eva. I mean, they started the episode kissing, meeting for, I guess, their first date. It sounded like this was their first date, and Izaiah was planning their second date to be a picnic. And after their first date, Izaiah already wanted to go back to his place and have some sex. And Eva was giving him those signs, but she doesn't want to rush this relationship because she feels this could be different for her and that this relationship can actually be something real, which is good to see for Eva. For me personally, I still do like the potential of this pairing, and they're clearly making Izaiah a bad boy still, or trying to, or maybe even some kind of player, which is something they failed to do with Andre. They tried to tell us and not show us. I think they're trying to show us that Izaiah maybe just wants Eva for sex. So that's a possibility from this. If that's not where they're going, I wish we had more build. That is something the show needs to do better at, is building not just storylines in general, but specifically relationships too. I think it was JSM Richards in the comments. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm trying to just remember this off the top of my head. But they commented yesterday that Cheryl is a lot just already coming on to Derek after a breakup. And I kind of agree. It would have been nice to have a build up to Cheryl and seeing her earlier and seeing that she had a crush on Derek this whole time. I think that would have been better for their story. This show does not set the foundations for their couples very well, which is what soap operas that thrived in the past did very well. And I would like the show to get better at that. So if they are setting up Eva and Izaiah to be a long-term thing, I don't know if they're doing a great job, even though I do like them together. If they're setting it up where Izaiah just wants some sex, then they're doing a good job. I guess we'll talk about Vanessa and Joey. I groaned the minute I saw Vanessa in this episode. She is such a down bad character right now with the writing. Joey's pointed out many times now that she's supposed to be this grieving widow. And Vanessa's always saying that she is allegedly still grieving. The show has done a really awful job of showing us that she's actually grieving Doug's death. And that's why she is such a deplorable, abysmal character to me now. I've seen people online say this, and I disagree totally. Maybe at one point earlier this year, but they're still saying that like the Vanessa and Joey storyline is hitting all the beats in their stories, and other stories aren't doing that. And we must be watching a different show these last few months then, because they are not hitting the beat. They completely skipped over. I think they gave us like a week of Vanessa being over the top about Doug's death. But after that, they have not given us any more beats of Vanessa actually grieving Doug. And I think that is part of the reason why Vanessa comes across so hard for me to give a shit about, because she clearly didn't give a shit about Doug. What is the reason to care about her or root for her? I don't have it at all. And this whole ordeal today of her trying to beg Joey to go with her to Winterfest because she doesn't want... She's sick of people judging her. She doesn't care about anybody judging her anymore. She doesn't want Joey to be ashamed of being with her in public. Joey saying he's trying to save her from herself and also trying to save himself because they are doing this money laundering together, and he doesn't want to be out in public too much and get people suspicious of that. And I don't know if the show is trying to tell us that Joey is really just with Vanessa for the sex or what. But I'm more confused about what they're trying to tell us about the Vanessa character. Maybe this is supposed to be her way of grieving, is her throwing herself at this person that is clearly deplorable. But I mean, so is she, the way she's coming across. So they kind of are meant to be. My problem with this whole thing is the direction it has gone. I care as little about Vanessa as Vanessa cares about her own kids, which is very little. Vanessa doesn't give two shits about her two kids. And she's always saying she doesn't care about what anybody thinks about her and Joey. She must be including her kids in that, even though it will come out as someday that Joey is responsible for Doug's death. I guess this would make a little more sense if Doug does end up being alive, really. Then it would make more sense why her grieving process has been almost non-existent. But as it stands right now, it's my least favorite story going, especially since the Derek and Ashley story has been cleared up. We'll get back to Joey. Martin was meeting with Vernon today, talking campaign strategies, this whole vicious primary challenge Martin has to go through with his re-election. Vernon was showing Martin his viral dances and saying that Martin is too basic bread and butter about his pitches on this new campaign, which is true. Martin is a very bland politician, and I don't know how he got elected in the first place, but maybe Vernon can help inject life into Martin as in his political career. Vernon learned about Joey giving Martin a check for the campaign. Vernon is having regrets about bringing Joey into their family's orbit with the whole Martin and Kenny plot. So Vernon paid Joey a visit, and when Vernon arrived, he ran into Vanessa leaving. And so Joey is seeing that both Vernon and Danny have become very protective of Vanessa. Maybe this gives Joey more reason to not want to be seen in public with Vanessa, I guess. But they had some words. Vernon says they're done now. He doesn't want Martin's path to have any more complications. Joey did call Vernon out on his hypocrisy, which I've called out Vernon and Anita in the past for that Dupree hypocrisy. Joey's saying that Vernon looks down on him, but the way they conduct themselves is not that dissimilar. So maybe Vernon should look in a mirror when he does look down at Joey. I mean, Devin said in yesterday's comments that they are putting Joey in so many different stories right now so that his downfall means more for the other characters, which I do agree with. That is a soap opera staple. I am hoping that this soap opera staple does not one day become a whodunit. I don't know if I've said this on the channel before. I've definitely said it on Patreon. I think I've probably said it on a Soap Opera Sunday talking about General Hospital's whodunit. I hate soap opera whodunits most of the time. They are not well written, so I would not like to see a who shot Joey storyline. A who killed Joey storyline maybe would mean more because Joey would actually be dead, but I don't know. It would have to be very well written for me to like a whodunit on this show. But at some point, I do hope Joey has a downfall, and it does have good repercussions. Lastly, the kids were on today. Smitty was at Orphe Jean's with Samantha and Tyrell. Tyrell was being very snotty towards June, making some crap comments about her eating too much on Thanksgiving, which upset Smitty. Samantha was trying to get Tyrell to stop being a hater, so Smitty had to stop the kids from bickering. Later, Tyrell admitted to Smitty that he was acting out because of Jessica going away to UCLA, possibly, and that seems to be what Tyrell's story is right now. As for Samantha, she was trying to help June, who is still not doing a very good job as a waitress. It's been months now. She's really got to get it together, quite frankly. But Samantha learned that June is worried about her hours getting cut because it would mean she wouldn't have health insurance. And so Samantha was worried about what that meant for June's health if she might have been sick. This tied into Martin's campaign. Samantha gave him the idea of pitching for more free clinics or a free clinic in the area for people like June. So I guess that was a good tie-in. And that about sums up today's episode. It was entertaining overall. I can't deal with Vanessa much longer with her current writing. I did like that she got rejected by Diego even. So I guess they are hitting some sort of bottom for Vanessa maybe. Maybe they're finally going to deal with her addiction issues. She was always so angry about Doug's addiction issues when she's been addicted to sex from day one of this show too. So we'll see if that gets dealt with. Last thing, let me promote the Patreon, patreon.com/OCGTV. This week I'm going over 1984 Santa Barbara episodes, 1983 General Hospital episodes. Gonna land somewhere with One Life to Live 2, which I've been doing for a while, but I might do something earlier. So check out the Patreon if you want to go over some classic soap operas with me.